Alrighty, folks, so I'm not a big fan of the actor Jonah Hill, but an ex-girlfriend of his is now coming out of the woodwork to accuse him of brutality and vicious evil. Why? Because he texted her some stuff that, is kind of not, amazing, but also not that bad. Jonah Hill. I'm not a huge fan. I don't think he's an amazing actor or anything, but there's now an attempt to cancel Jonah Hill that I just don't really fully understand. I got to admit, I just got to say, I don't really get it. According to the Washington Post, on Friday, surfer Sarah Brady posted screenshots on her Instagram and accused her ex-partner, Jonah Hill, of misogyny and emotional abuse. In the text Brady shared, a person whose number she saved under the name Jonah asked her to take down social media posts, stop modeling, and cut off friendships with some men and, quote, women who are in unstable places. She said Friday she hopes Hill's friends will hold him accountable and that her posts were a warning to all girls. Apparently, according to the Washington Post, in one text Brady posted from Jonah, she says he wrote that if she, quote, needed surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I'm not the right partner for you. I have a question. Am I supposed to be deeply offended by this? If you don't like it, he literally says, I might not be the right partner for you. And they weren't. So they broke up. Now you can say that's demanding. I would admit, first of all, I don't think that much of that is wildly demanding, right? Boundaryless, surfing with men. I mean, she's a professional surfer. So that one seems wild, but what he means is really the next one, right? Boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men. I mean, I think it would be very hard to date a woman who had boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men. When he says posting pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, again, she's a surfer, so I imagine that a lot of the pictures on her Instagram are of her in a bathing suit, but there is, kind of an inherent difference between you surfing in a bathing suit or you modeling on the beach in a bathing suit. Not quite the same thing. To post sexual pictures. That seems fair. How many dudes want their girlfriends to post sexual pictures of themselves online for the pleasure of men? Friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past. Again, that doesn't seem like horrible advice. It seems like nobody should have, friendships with people who are in truly unstable places. It helps bring them down. Brady also shared a text she sent, including a list of all the posts I removed from my page, to which she allegedly responded, good start. She uploaded a picture Friday she said previously took down by the request of a narcissistic misogynist. Presumably that was supposed to be directed at Jonah Hill. But I don't know, we've now expanded the boundaries of victimization beyond the normal. I don't actually understand what the boundaries of victimization are if this stuff qualifies. Your partner says, I wish you wouldn't do X. You wish to do X. Does this mean that your partner is necessarily abusive? Especially when he's like, well, maybe it's not going to work out. I'm just confused by that. It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. Was he possessive? Okay, maybe. Is that something that women would want in a boyfriend? Presumably not. She broke up with him. But why are internal negotiations between partners when it comes to your love life now subject to public negotiation? If you don't like it, you can leave. He wasn't in a position of superior power over her. And then she did leave. So I'm super confused. Yeah, I don't understand even what the argument is for her posting this stuff in the first place. Presumably, she thinks that this is going to make her a girl boss, that being a girl boss, it is amazing how being a girl boss shifted from what it was, say, 30 years ago to what it is now. So when you were 30 years ago, being a girl boss meant being a girl who is the boss. So by this definition, my mom was a girl boss, right? She rose from being a secretary at a corporation to being the executive vice president of that corporation. She was a girl boss. And you know what that girl boss did? She then came home at night and she helped take care of her kids. That was girl bossing. Girl bossing was being a girl who is the boss. Now, apparently, girl bossing is whining and moaning about how your boyfriend sent you texts you didn't like 4 years ago. And this makes you a hero to young women everywhere. The more you can claim victimization, him sending a text you didn't like isn't victimization. Honest to God, if every spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend in the United States were just to post the text they don't like from their spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, the myriad texts that they didn't like would be endless. I have yet to find a relationship between two people where no one has ever said anything to the other person that they found offensive or annoying. Welcome to human relationships. So it's kind of ugly that this has become the new way that you gain credibility, is by years later coming back at your ex-boyfriend and saying that he was super controlling and super terrible. I don't get it at all. It makes no sense to me. And even if you agree with her, I don't see the actual case for her posting this sort of stuff as quote unquote a warning to others. Who's watching this and going, oh man, that's really true. I'm too controlled. It's just again, an aspect of a solipsistic, narcissistic culture in which we are all supposed to pretend that everybody is a victim for the claps and the cheers and the clicks. You may have seen the CEO of Innovation Refunds, Howard Mackler, on TV explaining how they've helped so many small businesses with their ERC tax refunds. The ERC is the Employee Retention Credit. Every year, the U.S. government sets aside over $1 billion for economic incentives, but it's reported that only about 4% is claimed. If you own a business, you could have money just waiting to be claimed if you have more than 4 employees. The ERC tax filing is complex. Innovation Refunds is dedicated to helping business owners navigate that process. Do you have a CPA that says you might not qualify for the ERC? Get a second opinion with Innovation Refunds. Their independent tax attorneys will even work with your CPA to help you discover your eligibility. Innovation Refunds has been helping eligible businesses claim that ERC tax refund since 2021. They could be able to help your business as well. Go to getrefunds.com to determine eligibility. If you qualify, you could be on your way to receiving money for your business. There's no upfront charge. They don't get paid unless you get paid. Go to getrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS. That's getrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS. The folks over at Innovation Refunds can help you out if you overpaid on those taxes. Go check it out right now so you can get your money back. Go to getrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS. Simple fact of the matter, I have 4 kids. I have a dog. I'm up at all hours of the night. I need Black Rifle coffee in the mornings. There's so many people who are like this, including pretty much everybody at Daily Wire. We're talking like tens of pounds of coffee used every single month here at Daily Wire. My team knows I need the Black Rifle coffee every morning. They literally fuel the Daily Wire. We drink 40 pounds of their coffee, forget every month, every single week. If you haven't tried Black Rifle coffee yet, you need to. A great place to start is their Complete the Mission Fuel Sampler, giving you a taste of the entire spectrum of Black Rifle coffee flavor profiles. Offering 4-ounce bags of the following roast: the Silencer Smooth, the AK-47 Espresso, Beyond Black, and Just Black. The only hard part will be picking a favorite amongst these classic roasts. Black Rifle Coffee is a veteran-founded coffee company operated by principled men and women who honor those who protect, defend, and support our country. With every purchase they make, they give back. Stop running out of coffee. Sign up for a coffee club subscription to have Black Rifle coffee delivered straight to your door on schedule, so you're never going to run up short. There's nothing worse than you go to get some coffee in the morning and it's just not there. Instead, subscribe. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use promo code Shapiro at checkout for 10% off your order. That's blackriflecoffee.com. Use promo code Shapiro for 10% off. You can also find Black Rifle Coffee in grocery and convenience stores near you. Black Rifle Coffee is America's coffee. Okay, so I want to talk about Meta's Threads. Okay, so Meta has now released a new product. It is called Threads. It's a rival to Twitter, and it's sort of kinder and friendlier. It's apparently picked up like 100 million signups at this point. It's unclear to me whether those are sort of fresh signups or whether what's really happening is that everybody over at Instagram is simply opening an account over at Meta, because that's the two are inherently linked. When you actually open an account, when you have an Instagram account and you open a Threads account, they link to the extent that you actually cannot delete Threads without also deleting your Instagram. It's now open basically permanently. Now, one of the good things about that is that it makes you identifiable, because there are no, my understanding is, anonymous kind of click bots. Over at Instagram, you actually have to have an identity, which I think would probably be a better thing on Twitter. Hiding behind, false identities to attack people on Twitter. It's not pseudonyms for good reason, right? There are sometimes useful reasons to have pseudonyms. It doesn't seem to me that hiding behind an egg profile on Twitter so they can make nasty jokes about people is like an amazing reason. It doesn't mean it's like horrible or terrible, but the kind of new Threads policy, which is that everybody has an identity, I don't think is the end of the world. However, the idea that Threads is an actual rival to Twitter means theoretically that people would be leaving Twitter in favor of Threads. And I have some real doubts about whether that is going to happen or not, or whether Threads is just a completely different thing. According to CNN, the overnight success of Threads is a testament both to the dissatisfaction with Musk's ownership of Twitter and to the unique power and reach of one of Meta's most important properties, Instagram. Instagram already has 2 billion users. Now, Musk is apparently talking about the possibility of suing Threads for copying it. And there are a lot of aspects to Threads that are, in fact, very similar to the way that Twitter works. They have reposting as opposed to retweeting, for example. But the dissimilarities are significant enough that I don't think they actually provide the same service. According to the Washington Post, you do actually have to have an Instagram account to sign up for Threads in the first place. So that, like, I'm on Twitter and I'm on Instagram, but I'm really much more active on Twitter than I am on Instagram. And I think that's true for a lot of the people who are on Twitter. Like, journalists don't necessarily have an Instagram, but they definitely have a Twitter. Also, it's not as though your followership from Twitter automatically moves over to Threads. There is no connection between the two. Now, again, they've copied a lot of stuff from Twitter, but it may be a better place to watch videos, for example, or reels. Right? You can include posts and videos and photos. They don't show up as Instagram posts or reels. You can share those photos. They show up as regular links. There's no native integration between the two. So it's more text-based than video-based at this point. The biggest thing, and the reason why I don't think that the Twitter and Threads are going to cross paths all that often, is that when it comes to Twitter, you follow people and then they show up in your feed. On Threads, the algorithm decides for you what exactly you see. So according to the Washington Post, when you open the Threads app, you're thrown into a feed of threads. It's a mix of accounts you've chosen to follow and algorithmically generated suggestions. But there's no way to make Threads show you only the posts from the accounts you've chosen to follow. There's no way to clear the home screen of Threads from people you didn't select. There's also no way to make your feed order chronologically. So it's really not a news outlet, Thread. Twitter's really a news outlet. That's what I use it for. I'm browsing the news because it moves real fast over at Twitter. Thread is much more like Instagram, but without the photos. And it's supposed to be nicer. Right? The idea is that Meta is going to take safety seriously, but Twitter does not. But that's precisely the reason why people are on Twitter. Twitter is a place where you dunk and are dunked upon. Twitter is a place of unrestricted and ugly free speech in all of its glories and all of its downsides. Thread sounds like a carefully cultivated product that looks a lot like Instagram, but without a lot of the pictures and videos. So according to the Washington Post, Meta says safety is an advantage it has versus Twitter. Threads will apply the same content rules that currently exist on Instagram. So presumably, you're not allowed to say that Ellen Page is a woman on Threads, whereas you could on Twitter. Threads apparently wants to lower the risk for creators who want to try a new text-based social media app but don't want to have to put in all the work it takes to build a new following from scratch. That's because they transferred over from Instagram. I do not think that these are the same product in any way, shape, or form. With that said, Elon Musk is going hard after Mark Zuckerberg. He tweeted yesterday, "Zuck is a cuck," and then he suggested apparently an actual penis measuring contest with Zuck. Man, the billionaires. Oh, the billionaires. There was a time when the billionaires were like, "I will dedicate Carnegie Hall," and today it's like, "I will wrestle you in a cage and compare size." So things have changed just a little bit. All right, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We will be getting into more cultural chaos. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.